Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world at the moment. My name is Matt, and welcome to my Asteroid Trance channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the videos, guys. If you don't mind, before we carry on, if you can just hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell next to it. This way you won't miss out on any of the other technique tips or production videos going forward. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at how to set up lead and pad sends. It's just a quick video, nothing too detailed, but something I think that everybody may or may not find useful. It depends on what you're going for. But yeah, so let's jump right in. I'm going to use my track Catharsis as a base introduction to the video. And I'm just going to show you how I process the leads and the pads as well. Let me just reduce these to 0. All right, so at the moment, the leads only have the original processing in the channel strips, okay? So no additional reverb in terms of sends or anything like that. As you can see, the lead send channel is completely empty. So we're gonna populate this now and show you how to reverb the leads in terms of send and return tracks. All right, so technically, the first thing I would add is Arts Acoustic Reverb. It's one of my favorite reverbs, and it's perfect for trance music as well. So if we just go to sends, I tend to use the Temple One Reverb Essentials, and then Saw Synth, and then I just flick it to 64-bit and turn the quality up to ultra. Okay, then I will add just a standard Ableton delay for ping pong. Flick on the ping pong switch. Just pull the width down a little bit around here. I'm going to pull up the low end a little bit to around 4.5 kilohertz. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it on 3 time. I'm going to pull the feedback down and the dry wet down to around 30 or 35. Then after that, I will add FabFilter Satin. Now this is kind of the magic bit. This is where the magic happens, if you like, because not a lot of people think to add saturation to their reverb sends. So the reason I do this is because it makes the reverb sound much, much bigger, gives it a little bit of warmth as well, and just pushes that reverb out a little bit further. So when I was installing Saturn 2, I kept the original presets from Saturn 1 and copied and pasted the folder across to this one as well. Because I really like some of the saturation presets from the original Saturn. I'm going to turn the quality on to Superb. Now it is pretty CPU thirsty, so if your system allows, I would highly recommend going to Superb quality. And we're just using the basic saturated preset from the original one. Okay, and after this, I would use LFO Tool then as a kind of audio ducking device, or in better terms, sidechain, I guess, for any parts where the kick, bass, and drum elements are also playing. So for my lead send, the curve usually looks a little bit like this. I've already saved the preset in terms of keeping up with the efficiency of time, just to make things a little bit quicker. So yeah, I don't use any of the smooth parameters or anything like that. The volume is on 100, and then I'll show you what I mean by only engaging it during the busier parts of the track, if you like. So I'm going to group these together. Audio effect track, I'm going to call this lead send. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to map the Y0 position from LFO Tool so that it's fully open in the breakdown, so not engaged, and then obviously automate it down for when the drop happens, just to kind of duck everything out of the way and give it a bit more space. Okay, I'll give the track a bit more space, shall I say. All right, in order to do this, all we have to do is click the downward facing arrow, click on configure. I'm just going to move this around until it highlights it in green here. Then I'm going to map this, right click and map to macro 1. As you can see here, point Y0 is on 47, so that's roughly around where it's going to be for the drop. To give you some context of what I'm talking about, I've already done it for the pad. So we're going to follow the pad here in terms of the automation itself. And then I'm going to go 47. All right, so basically, obviously when your pads are playing in the intro part, you'll be sidechaining the lead and the pad reverb, and then automating it to no sidechain for the breakdown, and then automating it again to be sidechaining when the drop happens. All right, so that's the very basic way how I set it up. As you can see, the pad send is exactly the same. I've just got an EQ here to remove any mud around the 650 area. Saturn is the same basic saturated preset. Again, it's just to push the reverb further. And the sidechain is a little bit more aggressive on this, all right, for the pad. But yeah, it's just a different pad setting, guys. It's for super strings. I'm gonna change these. In fact, I would leave this one on normal, so it's a little bit different to the lead one. Obviously, switch it to 64-bit, and the pad super strings is in the pad send presets on the Temple One Essentials. All right, so currently the pads are already sent to the send. So this pad 1 is on minus 25 dB volume from the pad reverb send, and the superstring group, so the other two pads, is at minus 17, so they're a bit more heavily reverbed, if that makes sense. All right, so if you're wondering what this other send here is, minus 20, it's a small widening device, very simple. So after the lead, after the pad, you then use the widening device to push the lead and reverb sends a little bit wider into the mix. Again, it just gets things out of the way, makes things a little bit tidier. I've just got a low cut here at 400 Hertz compressor with kind of a medium attack and release, nothing too heavy. And then the mid side button is pushed all the way to the sides. Okay, so I only have them on minus 20 maximum in the interest of phase issues or phase correlation. So I usually keep them around minus 20, and that's fine. I'm going to do the same for the lead group here. Just pushes the reverbs a little bit wider, as I've mentioned before. And then I'm going to solo the leads, and then I'm going to play them here in context, and we're going to add in the reverb send here until we find the right amount. Okay, so as you can hear, 0 is far too much. To give you an idea of what Saturn is doing as well, we're going to just solo the lead reverb send when I play this. Okay, as you can hear, it makes the reverb much, much bigger. So that's the reason for using Saturn there. All right, so back to the reverb, the leads. I'm gonna, as you could hear, 0 was far too much. So as a general rule, my sweet spot is usually anywhere between minus 20 and minus 30 dB. So we'll push this in now, play it all in context, and we're gonna bring the reverb up until it suits. Okay guys, so in this instance, the lead reverb send, I've got it at minus 16.6 dB. That's how much I'm feeding in from the lead reverb send. Okay, just to give you a little bit of an idea of signal path as well, guys. If you can imagine your channel strip is here with all of your lead effects. So the signal path would be, through the lead effects, and then depending on whether it's pre or post effects. For this instance, we're using post effects, so it would be going through from here. So from your channel, from your main leads, it'll be going through the volume, through the channel, then to your lead sends or returns. Okay, and because of the order these are in, you're going, obviously this lead would only be this one, and then After that, I'm using a stereo effect to push the reverb of the lead send a little bit further, and then it goes into your master channel through your mastering effects and then out to your output. Okay. So just keep this in mind whenever you're adding any effects on sends, that keep in mind the signal path. I hope that you found the video useful. This is how I get that big kind of wide reverb sound on my leads and pads. As I said, before, it depends on what flavor you're going for, what color you like. And also the most important thing to remember, guys, is be mindful when you're adding in your send volume. And as always, please just trust your ears as well, okay? Also, another tip as well, just be sure to check on your phase correlation, collapsing everything to mono and seeing how everything sounds then as well. All right, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please leave a comment below. Please like the video, share it with your production buddies. And as I mentioned before, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your holidays, and I will see you in the next video.